Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 29 of the No Name Podcast. My name is Mrmoopsy, and I'm here with some peeps. Introduce yourselves, peeps.
This is your boy, Cosmo Jazz here, and we have a special guest this time around, which his name is Noobomi. Please introduce yourself, madam.
Hello.
I will add claps in post, I promise.
Make it sound like we have more people.
Ooh, about that.
Over budget?
Maybe a little bit.
So I'm Noobomi, like a Northeast Coast Tekken player. I hit up Philly scene a lot, trying to get into commentary there, doing work for the Iron Fist Philly, which is run by Afronomical. Shout out to that scene and everybody there that's teaching me the ways. Other than that, I do have a stream, twitch.tv/Noobomi, as well as venturing into cosplay. Well, not venturing into, I've been doing it since 2012. So,
Damn, you old.
that's my jam too. Yeah, I'm not a spring chicken.
Can I just say for the record, it took all I had to bring up Uganda Knuckles.
God damn you.
Let that meme die.
In my opinion, it's not the worst.
Please let it die.
It's definitely not the best.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that's a little of what I do and my ambitions within the FGC.
Alrighty. And also, she has a Twitter. I don't think you mentioned that one, but she also has a Twitter, and all the links that she has been said will be put down in the description box below so that you can go to all that stuff and show her all the support you can.
Yes, so my Twitter is also at Noobomi. Be prepared for some wild stuff.
Hey, if you follow this channel, you better be prepared, damn it.
After all the shit I talk?
You can be as lewd as you want on here.
Seriously.
Well, thank you for the invitation.
Okay, not that lewd. No, I'm just playing.
Hold on, Jess. I want to see where this goes.
Ooh, and we just got our channel blocked. Okay. But,
Sorry.
I don't care. No, but I guess we can go ahead and get into the topics now, which are the EVO lineup being announced a couple weeks ago, Anthem getting rebuilt from the ground up, even though it still has its tree from Christmas still up in the game.
Wow.
The future of Xbox versus Nintendo versus PlayStation, of Geoff Keighley not coming to E3 after, say, 15 years, and Platinum is making moves on their games that they've been working on, like, way in the past. So, Noobomi, you saw the E3 lineup, didn't you?
E3 or Evo?
E3. Not E3.
E3?
Evo.
Yeah, Evo. I was like, wait a minute.
The second you said it, the second you said it, I was just like, yes, you're right, wait.
Jess, just because she's the guest doesn't mean she's always right.
Just one time. Just one time.
So I did. And I get it to an extent. But is obviously the biggest controversy surrounding Marvel vs. Capcom.
Mm-hmm.
And that being a main game presented. Now, I consider this to be like a sort of exhibition top 8.
Mm-hmm.
Which is cool if EVO wants to move towards being more of the purely spectacle, like spectator spectacle, rather than participant spectacle of big, gigantic, fucking 4-digit game entry numbers.
Mm-hmm.
That's understandable because it's got its, its history, it's put in its time, and is revered as one of the top tournaments. However, how you get to decide what current game, what legacy game is going to get the spotlight. It's got to be difficult because there are tons of games out there with loyal followings, no matter what year they came out. Melty Blood, for instance, has its fucking heartbeat still pulsing. But I can't say I'm disappointed, but I am a little confused in where they draw that line. Like, I'm not opposed to these exhibitions say things, but if that's the case, then what will be the actual biggest tournament, not biggest tournament showcase event?
Which makes sense. Which I've discussed with Mrmoopsy a couple of times offline. That,
Capsule Corporation?
Yeah, sure, why not? I go straight Dragon Ball with this.
Sure, why not? It's in the lineup.
It is in the lineup, this is true. But with the way they are going in this direction, it does also make you wonder how much of a pool this will go towards, say, CEO and Combo Breaker and other one that I can't think of right now. Because another thing going off of that exhibition thing is that by taking this exhibition route, another game that was supposedly newer in the genre did not make it this time around, which was Mortal Kombat. Yes. And if this is going to be the case, what other games might not make it because of such a format?
Yes, like would Grand Blue get cut next year to make place for an exhibition?
And it's really I don't want to say like a super dangerous way of doing this, but it's definitely a maybe want to flesh this out a bit more kind of after this year.
Yeah, I do think they as a team need to sit down and really decide the direction they want Evo's legacy to continue off into. And if they want to be the highlighting the talent, the top talent kind of showcase event in half a regard, that's okay. In my eyes, I see that as okay. Because if these games are still drawing numbers and still are being loved just as hard as new releases, I don't see the point in only relegating them to like Mackay Cup. So it's just a matter of what side of the audience they really want to cater to. I think that it would make sense if developers and the community members of the team are in talks with the Evo Council that decides this, because obviously it has put a damper, as we've all seen on Twitter, a huge damper on the NRS community's desire to really go hard in the pro I don't know what Mortal Kombat calls it, but their pro season for 2020.
Combat Cup, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is, yeah.
So, it's not going to affect everyone's morale with the game, but it's definitely seemed to have hit a lot of nerves.
Not my nerves. I don't play that game.
I don't either. I gave it up like a month after release. I played Cetrion. In 2D games, I tend to play zoners, and I liked her a lot, but I played Melina prior.
Oof.
So, I'm not like a rabid Melina fan. I love her to death because gore and dark evil bitches is just my aesthetic. It's my genre.
Thumbs up.
It's where you'll find me filed under. But I can't say that even if Melina was in the game that I would still be playing it regularly.
Which is fair. It's definitely a different kind of game from other Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, like I think back to Deadly Alliance. I think back to Armageddon. And those were two that I played the ever living fuck out of.
Respect the 3D era.
Yeah, that's it. I liked the 3D element.
I'm
That's
gonna
why
stay silent.
I'm a Tekken player.
Mrmoopsy, we already know your thoughts.
And I played Mortal Kombat 10. I didn't play 9. I skipped out on that, so I may be missing a chunk of recent Mortal Kombat history. But for me, those games in the past were really I sat down, grinded, and played the living hell out of, invited my friends over just to kick their asses type deal.
That's how you do.
I'd say put it this way: time travel, nothing in the past really matters.
Yeah, but I just can't say that MK11 did anything, even nostalgia-wise, like pulling at me. I'm like, I'll get on Mortal Kombat 10 on Steam and just play Melina because I can play Melina. I don't care.
It's kind of funny. I've been in kind of a weird place with Mortal Kombat 11 because it has Scarlet, who was my girl back in 9. Didn't come back in 10, but I still had a lot of fun with 10. And I kept thinking to myself, yes, she's coming back in 11. And then the more I played, it's like, oh my god, what have you done to my character?
I have been seeing that sentiment expressed more and more on Twitter in regards to the contempt within the NRS community as a whole. And I feel like that is similar to how I feel about Jury in Street Fighter 4 compared to 5. I'm just like, there's something really just it's not hitting like it used to.
Makes sense.
For the safety of the pod, I'm not going to go into that one. Moopsy knows my thoughts on that. Because Jury was one of my mains back in 4. And
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So I'm with you 100% on that.
But then again, Jess knows how I feel about Street Fighter 4.
Yep. Talk about two ends of the spectrum.
But overall, with the lineup, like getting back to that, I think it's messy this year. Definitely messy. But if this grows into what we mentioned with exhibitions and whatnot, I don't mind it, but I think I might be part of the minority that feels that way.
It's definitely weird gauging this because, I mean, if you go off of Twitter just alone, there's definitely a huge side that's like all for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. But like you and also myself, it is kind of weird how this is being implemented because I'm not seeing a lot of people saying this, but it is kind of weird that only 4 people got picked because of the winners, and they haven't really told us fully how they're going to do the next 4 people. Like they've kind of hinted at it, but we're kind of running out of time here.
Yes.
I hope this isn't going to. If it is going to be a thing that's going to keep going, they need to really organize this way better because this feels kind of last second. That being said, I will say that there is something that has been going around, going back to Mortal Kombat, that might be a reason why it's not here this year.
Core values.
If only. No, apparently this goes beyond NRS and actually might be that WB didn't want their
Warner
name.
Brothers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. There's been talk about this actually happening, and I'm not surprised because if you look at their kind of DLC stuff and what happened last year, it kind of makes sense because me and Mrmoopsy were there last year. And I kept thinking to myself when we watched, we didn't really watch Mortal Kombat. I kind of went to sleep. So
You went to sleep. I went and failed at eating a 5-man lasagna.
Yeah, that's
Why
right.
would you? Did you have 5 men with you?
No, it was just a buddy of mine.
Oh.
And he only had like half a person's portion.
Oh my goodness.
I thought I could take it.
And see, this is why we're working out, right? Right?
Among many reasons.
Well, going back off of that, like I noticed that they were kind of like one of the only ones that didn't have anything to show at Evo, like almost everybody else, other than Smash. But that's a whole nother story in itself. Um,
Ooh.
but it's kind of like when you see their lineup of DLC and how they've set it up and everything that they've been doing, it feels like WB really wants Mortal Kombat to be its own entity, to the point to where even Combat Cup is being blown up like crazy more than normal for their other stuff. Like other stuff, yeah, you knew it was there, but it wasn't the forefront. Now it's kind of the forefront with Combat Cup and stuff.
I mean,
So
I don't know, because it's sorry to interrupt. It's like because that just sounds like a problem in and of itself.
When has companies ever not done that?
So
Yeah, it's like-
they want Combat Cup to be their own Evo.
Yeah, kind of like maybe even having their own kind of con thing per se. Not saying this is
That is,
legit,
if
but
that is the case, that is mighty ambitious.
hmm
Mighty ambitious for the second year of a game.
yes. Because I'm thinking about what's being shown at Combat Cup, which is, of course, the big thing Spawn. But we also have the new movie coming out. And we also
Yeah.
have something else that was supposed to be happening there, too. And a bunch of
Wasn't
comic
there an
book stuff.
animated series?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be shown, like the R-rated version is supposed to be shown there. And a bunch of other stuff is supposed to be hitting at this particular point, which makes me think even further, like maybe they really are trying to build this into something bigger, because we also have the non-animated Mortal Kombat coming out, I think, next year. And it makes me wonder if they're probably going to be showing more on that next Combat Cup. It's going to be the big thing there. And keep blowing it up until it becomes whatever. Now, like I said, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just speculating.
Yeah, I will say though that like based off of that speculation, there is one sort of X factor amongst all of that stuff that can really change whether or not their move, if this is their move. There's one X factor about it that can really change on whether this is good or this is bad or successful, I should say, and it's the quality. Because they could make the Mortal Kombat movie, they could make the Scorpion fucking series and all that stuff, and if all of that shit, then like all their money's just gonna have gone to like just been wasted.
Yeah.
But it's WB. We know how that goes.
Yeah.
But I guess once again going back to the lineup, I have a question for y'all,
Okay.
and that's like as we see these games, do you think that say Dragon Ball is going to go down in numbers or up because of what's been going on? Because that's the one that's kind of been iffy when it comes to Evo and stuff.
Who should go first?
You can.
All right. Because in my opinion, I do think that it's definitely gonna. I think it's gonna increase. What was the cap at for Dragon Ball last year?
It's like a 1,000 something.
Yeah, because we know that it's possible for Dragon Ball to get like insane numbers. You know, first year at Evo, that they fucking broke the record.
Yeah, and then they didn't even get half the next year.
Yeah, but because the big thing about it is the fact that the next season it's gonna be that it's the whole like Dragon Ball Fighters 2 kind of thing going on. They definitely have that going for them. I think one of the big determining factors of it is like what else they have planned for changes, because having that kind of Marvel select your assist kind of option, it's definitely a step in the right direction. It's definitely gonna have Capcom sweating, trying to figure out what the hell they're gonna do now, since they've got like legit competition now. But also, yeah, write it down. But I think I think that like if it's just the assist mechanics, it's not going to be as like impactful as they might think. If they have anything else planned to change up the game, But I guess the best way to put it is the more changes, the higher the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that. I definitely think that it's gonna go up for a little while yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think that their most recent trailer reveal went overwhelmingly positive,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of good PR usually is rewarded.
Which is fair.
Plus, also seeing the lineup, it is going to be interesting to see because it's one of the few times I would say that you can actually see two totally different games in a similar genre, so to speak, in a similar subgenre, I should say. Because it's going to be like it's Marvel versus Capcom 2 versus Dragon Ball Fighters, which is inching closer to the Marvel style of combat.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be. I think that there would definitely be some kind of like competition amongst people on whether or not, or like which game would be better in their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes like that kind of competition can also drive up interest.
Absolutely.
This is fair. And I, to be the odd man out, I'm going to say I am right in the middle of both of you. Because, like you said, they have good PR, and it's definitely going to be rewarded. But at the same time, are they really changing enough? Because there's so many things that people have been asking to be changed. And yes, they have been changing some things like the Z Assist and something else I'm missing. But things are being changed, but not everything. So I feel like it's going to be... We're going to know more halfway to that point, I think.
Yeah.
But other than that, I have another question for y'all. And this one is going to be probably a bit more fun for Noobomi. Noobomi.
Can we get polymerization or something? What the fuck?
I've been stunned. I need healing. But so last year's Evo, it was practically neck and neck between Tekken 7 and Street Fighter. Now, knowing what we know today with the Street Fighter 5 having championship just come out, having pretty good buzz, and Tekken 7 now nerfing Leroy, now also getting pretty good buzz, now finally, and also Fakuram coming soon, who do you think is going to top the numbers this time?
If I go with my gut and not what I want to happen.
No, please do both.
She did like two separate personalities.
Oh no.
My gut tells me that Street Fighter is going to tip the scale because I think people are really fucking with Seth and the promise of netcode improvements or netcode changes from Ono has got a lot of people buzzed, whereas Tekken is still kind of climbing its way out of the Leroy incident. And we have yet to reach a place where we aren't still asking for shit. Yes. For lack of a better term, shit from Harada. And Murray. And, the actual team.
Yeah.
Doing the balance adjustments.
Well, it has been kind of a roller coaster in regards to Tekken, because Leroy comes out, he's super cool, he's also OP as fuck, shit, and then like we're waiting on because I imagine that it did have a decently negative effect for Tekken World Tour, when it was just like the 6-man Leroy.
Well, here's the thing about that: Tekken World Tour still hasn't started yet.
Oh yeah, the first event is April 4th.
Exactly.
It's the Tokyo Masters.
And that's when Fakuram is going to be added into it.
That was just Evo Japan, right?
Yeah, that was just Evo Japan.
Oh yeah, I'm stupid. But then again, what else is new?
God damn.
But it just said I beat you to it. But point is though that in regards to like the whole 6-man Leroy thing, like it's a big event. People noticed and they were not happy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's definitely not some wind out of Tekken 7 sales, if at least a little bit. For Street Fighter, from what I've been hearing, like it's been overall positive. Yes, they also had their own problems with the whole netcode scandal, but I think it will really change. Like we'll see where it will go moving forward come this Tuesday, because of like the whole netcode stuff that Noobomi mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And but in regards to like characters, I like because I remember I asked Jas about this, how people reacted to Gil, and it seems like an overall positive. Yes, he seems like a beast, but he also said the beast can be tamed,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of like the exact opposite of what people should have expected from, or should have been expecting from Leroy,
Mm-hmm.
if I use my words correctly, which I'm not entirely sure I did. But
Close enough.
yeah, good. As long as you get it. But like Gil was good. Seth, people seem to really dig. So it's also on its way up too. Which now it's kind of bringing in that competitive race of like, which is going to top who.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it sounds kind of like cheap, get out of jail free kind of way of a way to say it, but it really depends on what's going to happen in these next couple months.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a definitive answer, it's kind of like Noobomi says, where it's like you kind of have to think about what your gut thinks versus what your head thinks.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And-
My heart wants to tell me Tekken will reign supreme, but I can't sit on the laurels of all the time leading up to Leroy's release.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, one thing I'm curious about also is what Street Fighter is going to end up doing too, because we're like, technically speaking, I think season 5 for Street Fighter 5 barely started, because I think Seth technically counts as season 4.
Yeah, probably end of season 4.
Yeah, he like Seth is like a weird mixture of like the end of and start of the last 2 seasons.
Mm.
So one of the big questions that I'm asking is like, what's Street Fighter gonna do in regards to DLC? Are they gonna add new characters? And if so, how many? Because I almost feel like since it's kind of nearing the end of its run, this might be like a season where we only get like 4 characters or something.
Mm-hmm. So, going off of basically both of what you said, I think it depends really on this netcode thing. Because if it's shining colors and whatnot, I'm taking Street Fighter on this. But if not, I'm taking Tekken. And another thing that I also have to put into account of that is something me and Mrmoopsy talked about a couple weeks ago, which was the rumors of a season 4 for Tekken 7. Which, if anybody doesn't know about that listening, Michael Murray had tweeted to somebody saying hopes for season 4 dash or whatever, something like that. And then he said there's a chance for it if you support your locals, all that other PR jargon, basically. And if that is the case, that could be a whole new resurgence for Tekken again, on top of what's already been kind of done, even though Leroy's really dampened things. And then there could be the chance that Fakarum blows everybody out of the water. Still not my kind of character, probably not going to play him that much. But he could be the Seth for... Oh no, actually I take that back. He could be the G for Tekken 7. Where people is like, who the hell is this character? He comes out, people love him. And then later on he's like, why is this person broken?
and then he is the world president.
Yep. And then they're fighting to be the president of the world of Gaia. But I think that's really going to be the sole thing, is the netcode. Because also we have the Olympic whatever thing for Street Fighter being online. And if the netcode thing works there, that could definitely boost Street Fighter's momentum into that. That could go into
absolutely.
Evo.
I'm glad that you mentioned that because I was highly curious to see the structure of that. Um, what is it? Intel Extreme Masters type
Yeah.
Olympic
Mm-hmm.
games. Yeah, as soon as I saw that it was announced that the qualifying would be through online,
Big yikes.
Yeah.
I sent thoughts and prayers. I hashtagged it. I wrote a little article about it. I was like, "Whew, boy, you guys are in for. They're gonna take you for a ride."
Who's ready for teleporting? Yeah.
Jesus.
But to highlight on Murray's whatever, PR, support your locals. The I do have to say that the Tekken World Tour Dojo event
Mm-hmm.
system is fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
For Iron Fist Philly, I think our regular attendance is somewhere around I'd say 13 to 15 people.
Nice.
I don't recall the minimum amount for the tournament to
I
be.
think it's 20.
If so, like, yeah, we're right there. We are so close, and I'm really trying to get the Philly scene together because we don't really show out for anything, and South Jersey doesn't have much of a scene either.
Mm-hmm.
To keep it 100% real, I will shout out the Mays Landing Hamilton Mall Tekken Tuesdays that
Mm-hmm.
is recently started it back up. I believe they tried to do it once before. I could be wrong though, so don't quote me. Regardless,
Oh,
they're
we're
doing it
totally quoting this. I'm cutting this part completely out. Like,
now.
she said this.
No, no
As
name
in, like, little
broadcast out of
subtitles.
context. um, yeah, so I think that that's something that we could accomplish, and to be sort of directly supporting the game in a way that is more than just playing it or buying the content is something that I have been striving to do for a while. So if we can achieve that goal for this year, I'm hoping that Philly can kind of start getting moving on this and take the scene more seriously, because you see Next Level Battle Circuit in New York, their monthlies, their local is always popping off on Twitch and just as it is there at the venue. It's a great production. We are far from that. We are at the infantile level.
I was about to say, oh
Um,
man, y'all sound great. Oh shit.
no, I'm saying for comparison's sake, like Next Level Battle Circuit in New York, they're like a veteran kind of event, regularly scheduled, showing the talent in that area. And when you look to Philly, what do you think of? You think of what? Punk, but he just fucking moved to California. So
Mhm.
that's like that's who we had winning all our shit.
And I was gonna say
Playing,
cheesesteaks.
going to fucking Red Bull Conquest Philly and wiping out everyone in under night, like a
Damn.
game he plays on the side.
Damn, you hate to see it.
Yeah, we just don't show up. So I want to somehow get that incentive, get that desire going in people. And if it's through commentary, if it's through just, you know, event production work, I want to do it. And I would love to see a season 4.
Hmm. It's
I mean,
funny.
a lot of that kind of stuff is just generally dependent on like advertising and who you know, really, because it's all about. At the end of the day, it's all about advertising properly.
Yeah. So we are like the closest big organizer that we could network with would be Big E. And so like that's Summer Jam, that's Winter Brawl coming up next weekend. Weekend after? 2 weekends from now? I don't know. Um, and they do NEC, yeah, as well. Just linking up with them and promoting Tekken at those like more major tournaments as well. There's
Jess,
a lot
maybe,
of work to be done here.
Jess, maybe for post, like, put in like some pictures of like the announcements and stuff, like the
Oh,
like
jeez.
the events.
Sorry, something really blew up my ears.
I think I know what it might be. It might be from my fault.
Okay, I was like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, I saw your mic light up. I was like, whoa.
But what I was gonna say is like Jazz, like you should probably put in post kind of like the announcements and kind of stuff, like, you know, for these events.
Oh, for all her events? Oh, sure.
Yeah.
For all those events you said, just send me the message on my Discord and I'll put them in.
Yeah. Okay. I'll send you the links and stuff.
Yeah, I can do
The
all
Twitter
that
handles
stuff.
and whatnot.
Yeah. Yep, I can do that. But,
Spreading the tech and gospel.
Yeah, I'm not a believer so much. Convince
It's
me.
fine. You don't have to drink the Kool-Aid.
I'm a Street Fighter sinner.
Ooh.
I can't do it with Street Fighter. I didn't play it enough growing up to be like okay with 5.
Very nice.
I've only really played like the Marvel-y kind of stuff, but I recognize the characters from there, so there's my origins for Kool-Aid.
Yeah, you drink that Kool-Aid.
I will.
Not too much sugar though. Working out.
Yeah. I'm addicted to that stuff.
I'm just messing with you. But is there anything else we want to talk about with the Evo lineup?
It's clear that's there, up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not Eunice.
I mean, the first time me and Mrmoopsy ever played Unes, it was at Evo. So.
Okay, well, yeah, so their new one is going to be the one that's played this time. I'm hoping that I see the friends that I support do well in this game at Evo.
Mm-hmm.
I like it, but I like Guilty Gear more.
Yeah.
Same.
But I'm nervous about Guilty Gear. I haven't seen any Valentines, and that makes my heart hurt. But they can't not put them in there, I feel like.
There's been like 6 characters announced or something low like that, and
Yeah, something
so
pretty
far,
low.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So there's still a lot of unknown about that game.
Mm.
Samurai Showdown has its dedicated following.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jazz, your office coming.
Oh, I love her. I feel like that might make me want to play, but I don't think I'll buy the game.
Fair
It's
enough.
not anything I've played. Like, I've played nothing similar to that. I don't think ever.
See,
Yeah,
this is why
it's
we're
real
cool.
twitchy.
This is why we're cool, because you're not going to play that character. Unlike somebody else in this chat.
Why?
You know who you
Like,
are.
I do. But I mean, like, you act as if I'm gonna end up playing the game for a long time. That freaking Akuma dude came out, and I still barely touched the game. Doesn't mean I don't like it. I just have way too many fucking endless games on my plate.
Which is fair.
Oof, that's an understatement.
Yeah.
I like to see the support for Soul Calibur. And Smash can be Smash as long as Smash is Smash. Fuck it.
Bars.
Melee can cry if they want to, or they can just keep running their game on the side.
Bars.
Can I add one thing to that though about the Smash stuff? Like, Smash can be Smash, just the Smash community cannot be the Smash community.
They need to shape up. I completely agree. I just don't know that we'll see it happen in our lifetime.
No, and I mean, like, to piss him off even more, this is coming from a Mario main.
Oof, you hate to see it.
The only reason I got Ultimate is Bayonetta.
The only reason I want Ultimate is Terry. So.
Am I the only one that actually plays it here?
Yes.
Oh, well, damn.
But hey, look at you playing Smash.
Good for you.
Big move.
Well, I guess then, if there's nothing else, we can move on to the next one, which
Yeah.
is Anthem getting rebuilt. Just because it's technically one of the memes of last year, if it wasn't Fallout 76.
Yeah.
But basically on that one, I have to pull up my notes. Like I said earlier, the Christmas stuff is still up, which caused a huge uproar on Twitter because it's now in February. And we still have a Christmas tree you can run around and act like it's Christmas in. But the developer actually kind of brought that up, saying that the reason that's still there is because apparently it's tied to an event that's happening. That's going to be going off till March. So that means that tree is going to be there till like spring.
Oh, boy.
Are they at least
Oh,
gonna
we
wither
can
it or
have a
something?
St. Patty's Day.
Make the tree just more green.
Put a rainbow, pot of gold. Yeah, the whole stereotype.
I'd be so
Yeah.
for that.
The famous St. Patrick's Day tree.
Oh,
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I think I was there during that time. I'm old. But yeah, so expect that tree to be there in a meme for the next month. But as he was saying that, they were actually bringing up the fact that they are also going to be overhauling all of Anthem, including no more season pass stuff, because they can't follow their own roadmaps.
Did the president of EA die or something?
If only. They're going to have an actual focus team this time, which, for anybody who doesn't know, basically when Anthem actually got announced to us is when the team at that time knew what they were actually building. So there was really no focus team there. They're going to be having improved stability and loot rewards, etc., and then more PR jargon. And they're also going to be going away from seasons, so enjoy your Christmas tree while you have it, because it won't be back. Yeah, it's going to be completely gone. And they haven't given us a time frame of this, like saying like, oh, it's going to be the next couple months or anything, which is probably for the best, since they've shown they can't follow time frames.
Yeah.
But they did say that it was probably going to be somewhere in the future, like near
You
future.
don't say.
Yeah.
Not the past.
If only it was the past, it'd be so much better.
It actually kind of would.
But
So I think that
mhm,
it's quite an undertaking,
absolutely.
but one that should be done, seeing as how pitiful it is.
I think you're
in its
being
current
nice.
state.
I don't think the
I can't
president of EA
say-
listens to us.
I can't say that anybody's really looking out for this. You know,
Mhm.
personally, I don't see many people being like, "Oh man, you know, once Anthem gets rebooted, it's over. Destiny, get ready to be killed for real."
I feel like I would tweet that just so there's one person saying it.
It's in the recording, man. This is gonna be forever.
You know, I don't get that vibe. So I think it's maybe just an honorable burial at this point. They want to put it away and not feel as bad about it looking back.
Getting slight PTSD from the last Mass Effect game. Just let it
Yeah.
die. I'm kind of with you on that one. It's kind of interesting that they're going back to this, because it seems like a lot of work for possibly not a lot of gain per se.
Yeah.
what they would get. But hey, good on them, I guess.
I mean,
Yeah, good luck.
it's their money at the end of the day, and if they want to spend it like that, so be it. I'm not gonna fucking contribute.
Mm-hmm. If it were me, I'd just go to Anthem too. And just do that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'd be kind of tempted to just drop the IP because I'd be thinking like after Anthem 1, who's gonna want to play an Anthem 2?
Well, here's the thing though, because I will only super slightly fight that, because there's still a fan base for Fallout 76.
I mean, I guess I can understand that. The counterpoint that I would bring up though is Fallout had a fan base before 76. Anthem had to start from the ground up.
Yeah, but look where Fallout is right now.
That is fair. That's fair. And 76 isn't Fallout's first fall from grace either.
Yeah, I was actually gonna bring that up too when you said that. Like, this isn't the first time.
It's not their first rodeo on a downward spiral.
This is just their worst time.
Yeah. All I can say is Elder Scrolls 6.
Well, I'm afraid for that game.
Yeah.
I want Oblivion. I want to feel like I'm playing Oblivion.
You are probably gonna have to wait a long time for that.
Or I just will continue to play Oblivion for probably
See,
the 12th time.
That's the smart thing to do. Keep doing that.
Yeah, if I want that experience, I tend to just go back to the source of it instead of looking for it in another game.
See, you smart. I need that DJ Khaled meme. You smart. Honestly, if I had to guess a timeline for this being done, it will probably be the end of this year to spring of next year.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, the more time that they need, the better, because you can't already ruin crap.
Mm-hmm.
The worst that could happen is they put all this time into it and make it worse.
That'd be hilarious.
It's like, you guys went from crap to Duke Nukem Forever. Wow, how'd you do that?
Congratulations, you Fallout 76 yourself.
Yeah, we can only wait and see. I mean, we're not really waiting for it. It's happening. Do you call that waiting? No.
It's gonna happen. We'll probably
One
be
day
there.
we will see.
I just am still flabbergasted though at the fact that Bethesda just really wants Fallout to die on 76. That is like the worst note.
Don't remind me. My heart.
It's a bit unacceptable.
My heart still burns for that.
Not your soul?
No, definitely not my soul. I don't have a soul, remember?
It's Soul Calibur.
Yeah, this is so burn.
But no, I think that's all we can really go on that one. Because none of us play it, really. So
Yeah, nobody in this chat is excited.
So let's move on to something we actually can be excited for. The future of Xbox. Right? Yeah, no? Okay. Future of Nintendo. I know somebody's excited for that.
Yeet!
And the future of PlayStation, the one that really should be excited for. No, I'm just playing.
Well, we gotta keep an eye out for them.
Yeah. So I don't know if y'all have heard much about what Xbox's whole thing has been going on with them and their plans for the future. But they seem to be really going on this streaming service thing, kind of like Stadia is doing. They really are kind of pushing that. So much so that they've actually come up with a statement saying that Nintendo and PlayStation really aren't probably going to be rivals for them much longer. Because of that, I know, right? But
Wait. Like, PlayStation is doing the streaming, right?
PlayStation has a form of streaming.
Right.
Which is PS Now. But they have something kind of planned for that, but not like Xbox seems to be doing, which seems to be their forefront.
Okay, so Xbox is going to be doing the Stadia shit. Okay.
Correct. It's going to be kind of their forefront thing they're going to be trying to dive into. Which, I mean, they're still going to have competition there with Amazon and stuff, so good luck there.
I mean, Xbox has a history of bad ideas. Why not keep going?
Yeah. I used to have a 360. It was great. um, but it seems that basically they have doubled down on this by partnering with Samsung. So they can have a better streaming whatever. Um, and I will say that their current catalog thing that they have, I can't remember exactly what, I think it's called Xbox Pass or something like that. It has been getting a lot of good buzz. So at least they have some kind of foot going for them, especially over Stadia, which everybody has over Stadia, but it's here or there.
I just picked up its rock because it's better than Stadia.
Hey, you are disrespecting that rock, sir. But it is kind of interesting that they went for something last generation didn't work, and instead of possibly going for something that would have maybe worked more for them, even though their new console looks like a PC, they seem to try to veering off from their competition instead of facing them. Which is going to other competition, but that's either here or there. But it also is interesting that they're saying this and they're disregarding the fact that PlayStation is also doing something with this as well.
I will say though that Xbox is basically like it's not fighting the big kids anymore. It's going over there to the side like to pick on the little kid.
Which what a fucking little kid to pick on.
Stadia for one.
Well, they can pick on that one all they want. I was talking more about Amazon. I can pick on Stadia.
The No Name podcast is bigger than fucking Stadia.
I mean, a couple of months maybe.
So I have always liked Xbox better than PlayStation. At this point in my life, I'm fortunate enough to have every console.
Awesome.
Nice.
And I do use my Xbox for streaming services. I have the Game Pass in order to play Halo on my PC.
Nice.
I like the interconnected feeling I have between my PC and my Xbox. And I wouldn't mind maybe if, aside from Nintendo, I will always buy Nintendo. In Lord Nintendo, we pray.
That's 2 against you, Jess.
I don't give a fuck.
The fact that they're portable really just makes them indisposable in my life. The way I feel hunkered down, even with my laptop. So I think in the next generation, I may buy an Xbox product. Because I know there's a series they're doing, so it's not just the Series X. Though there'll be other consoles within the family they're projecting at least, which is ambitious. But maybe one of the smaller ones I would pick up in order to stream and play Halo things because I love Halo. But aside from that,
so here's a question then. So you're all for the new console then, right?
I don't mind it.
That's not reassuring.
I don't mind it in the way that like I mind PS5. I'm not getting that.
Really?
There's nothing that makes me really gaga over the PlayStation 5.
Interesting.
Understandable.
Even like single player games, which is the real draw for PlayStation, that doesn't really prevent me from experiencing the games. Like, I can watch them be played online. I can watch a friend play them. I can watch a sibling play them. Like, I have avenues to digest the media. I'm not that committed and would rather have my PC library built up or fucking play old ass emulated games because I'm addicted to wanting the same experience.
So what you really are is PC Master Race.
PC plus Nintendo is at the very core what I need because I can get my Halo fix on my PC at this point.
Fair enough.
So if we boiled it down, it's PC and Nintendo.
Don't mind me, I'm just hardballing your brain right now. No, I can understand that. And honestly, if I'm being completely honest, other than the whole cross-platform play, really, that we've been told in multiple medias, but not really Sony itself, as far as I'm concerned, there's not much being shown for the PS5, really, other than like a price point that just recently got announced.
It's like $450 or something like that, isn't it?
Well, that's how much apparently it costs. We still don't know the actual, like, what we would pay for it. So, like, other than that, there's not much really to go. In Leroy's words, there's not much going to show for. So I can kind of join you on that thought process of just really going on the PC stuff right now and whatnot. And the last real Xbox thing I had was the 360, and I had the Xbox One just for KI, and then I sold the Xbox One. So
PC.
I mean, it's on PC. Why would I need an Xbox One?
I just needed to play the waiting game before I could play KI.
Exactly. So it's just I can get it. I get it. I do wonder though, because the thing that they're waiting on, as far as PlayStation goes, is a price point from the other two, which Nintendo's already said they're not really going to do another console. So it's really on Xbox now, and it is making me wonder, since they're going with the total streaming service thing and whatnot, how much their price point is really going to be. Because if that's the thing they're going to do, you don't want your console or whatever to be so high, and then that be your platform for the streaming thing, and that be high too.
Yeah.
It really depends on what it is that they're going to do. But one thing that Xbox does have over Nintendo and PlayStation is like knowing what they're going to have to deal with in regards to like streaming services.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and they have always had a very strong, dedicated online presence, and
So
in
you
a
could
way,
say
like,
that's because barely anyone's on it.
but at least they've really been through the rodeo of having the interfaces and, just like 360 versus PS3, which one were you fucking playing your first person shooters on?
Generation.
Yeah, jeez. Fucking 9-year-olds. Probably 360 was more of the FPS, and everything else is on PS3. Really? Because although I will say, going off that thing, most of my friends that I would play on were on PS3. And I rarely ever really played FPSs because I was more of a Counter-Strike person, which is on PC, so is what it is.
I was Soldier Front. I didn't like Counter-Strike.
It's definitely not for everyone. It's definitely niche.
Counter-Strike.
Yeah. It's a definite niche audience. And don't even get me started on the actual community of that group.
No thanks.
But, yeah, if it was anything, I guess if we were talking just strictly FPS, it would be 360. And then we moved on to other consoles, and then what was an Xbox, right? But, yeah, overall, to be honest, if I had to pick one right now, it would be a Switch.
Way ahead of you there, Jess.
Of course you would be. I'd be shocked
Yeah,
if you
you're the
didn't.
Smash player.
Yeah, exactly.
I would wonder who you are if you didn't have a Switch.
It's like one of those pod people kind of situations.
Who sent you? But overall, I do think that their statement of saying that they don't really have competition with Nintendo or PlayStation is not correct, really. Like maybe a generation after this that could be said.
Yeah.
But right now, there's definitely still your competition because that's what people associate you with. Um, and until
Like
proven otherwise, eh.
it's what they associate them with, and I mean, it is. It's not the worst move for them to move on to streaming, considering what their possibilities are in regards to like actually being able to do better streaming than both of those companies.
I'm not a fan of this whole stream movement. At least not yet. There's so
Um,
many
it
problems.
because a lot of it still kind of depends on what it is that they have on their game library. You could have because wasn't it like basically what happened this generation? The Xbox One looks infinitely better than a lot of the other current consoles, but their library was just like straight empty.
Best graphics, best everything, nothing to play on it. Basically,
Yeah,
would be the quote thing.
and so like because new you don't listen to us, so you wouldn't know that I've said this a lot, but like I've said lots of times that Xbox has to just like dedicate all of their stuff on making like they have to dedicate on improving their their IPs and library because it's basically what that quote is, fucking it looks great, nothing to play on it, and that's ultimately the bigger problem if they're gonna wanna stay in this console war.
Yeah. That's a definite point
Hmm.
that they seem to not really be addressing.
I mean, they are like almost fairly last place, and a lot of other consoles that have been sold, but even after the fact or before the fact. Like I think they said last they showed numbers, it was like it's 5 million to 6 million sold or something like that, and Switch has already blown it out of the water. Still, a lot of old consoles have blown it out of the water. PlayStation definitely blown it out of the water. It just like I always say with basically with anyone, competition is good, and I hope they do well this time around. It's just their methods are not really saying to me they're going to do well this time around. Especially like going off of once again Stadia. The problem I have with this whole stream movement is not only the fact of you're not really taking into account a lot of people's internets things, which a lot of people could say just get better internet. It goes way deeper than that because I can have the same price point internet thing as say Mrmoopsy has, but our linings and stuff and everything could be completely different because of where we live. So I could still be getting better internet than he does, and we're still paying the same thing. And that's a Comcast, AT&T, blah blah blah, such and so forth thing that's still being addressed right now. Which is why I say this whole streaming thing is moving maybe a bit too fast to say that it's the future, which it is. It can be the future. Don't get me wrong, but right now I don't see it.
Plus, you'll have some other people like me that like they want to have their physical copies.
That too.
Mm-hmm. Most
I
definitely.
definitely hardcore on that point. Like even though I'm loving my new streaming stuff, not streaming stuff, PC stuff and whatnot, I do kind of miss the fact of having the game in my hand. He's saying, "Hey, this is my game." But is there anything else you want to say on this one?
Unfortunately, not really. I think that shit's pretty clear cut in where they all stand at the moment. I really think Nintendo's just got a lot of dedicated cult following
That's one way
in
to
a
put
way
it.
that
They
the
sure
other
fucking do.
consoles lack due to the exclusivity. Like, they don't let anybody have their shit.
Really?
Not without a goddamn fight. Looking at you,
Yeah.
Mario movie.
Well, they're fighting other fronts now.
Yeah. But I guess then we can move on to Jeff Keighley not going to E3 this year. Now, why is this a big thing, you ask? Well, he's been there for the last 15 years, so and he's basically has been there since it's been started. He's kind of been kind of a big host for a lot of things, including something that recently was there. Not recently, but been there for like 4 years now, which is the E3 Coliseum, where they have all their interviews and go in more in depth of the games and stuff. And he recently just tweeted out that saying he's not going there because he doesn't like the direction that E3 is going with. Now, he did point out also saying that, because he did say like there were certain things he's learned about E3 that he's not okay with, but he did also tweet right after that of things that we already know, like the fact that PlayStation's not going to be there. Nintendo, something was happening with Nintendo, I can't remember right now.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're like also not showing up just because they do their own tree houses.
Yeah, that too.
That's what I was thinking, like the PlayStation experience or whatever, and Nintendo, just the companies themselves having their own kind of yearly showcases or whatnot, or what have yous.
The Treehouse Direct, whatever.
Even connecting it back to what Mortal Kombat is doing with the Combat Cup, just like keeping it all within the family.
Yeah, and it's not like, also like he stated also in a tweet that he's not done with conventions because he's going to another convention that's happening before that. He also posted as well, and honestly, I kind of do wonder, other than the fact that maybe E3 is going downhill, which we talked about before, if this also has to do with maybe possible competition happening that he's seeing. Because if you haven't known, he's the director and stuff for the Game Awards. And the Game Awards shows a lot of stuff, including the new Xbox, was first shown there. And when you have that kind of pull, I mean, that can kind of say a lot to the direction of where you want to move in the awards. Now, that there has been people saying that maybe it's not becoming more about the awards and more about like the actual games now being shown now, but that's a whole other story in itself. But I did want to ask, do y'all think it's maybe competition that is why he's not really going, or is it really kind of a genuine, I don't like where this is going kind of thing?
I would say both.
Yeah. Not to be redundant, I do think that
No, please be redundant. I love it.
it's definitely a mix, because I can see the controversy of him not being there, drumming up some buzz for his own video game awards. Personally, in which I don't give too much of a fuck about. I digest it through Nibel or whoever.
Oh, Nibble? Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I really just watch his Twitter feed, and if I really like something in particular, I will tune in for the duration of that and then go back about my day. This spectacle things have become less of my jam. I really am a tournament watcher, and even a locals watcher. So
no, I do want to go back to that though. Like, why is that per se for you? Because I want to know. That has been a thing that's been popping up on Twitter lately. I kind of want to get a perspective on that.
What, like just
not being part of like spectacle stuff and whatnot, like the awards, blah, such and so forth.
A lot of the time, there's so much hype surrounding particular titles of games, it's almost inevitable
Mm.
seeing the studios get the awards.
Mm-hmm.
I can't recall a single instance in the last 3 years where a game won something and I was really like, wow, I have never heard of that game. I didn't see that one coming. Oh, maybe I'll go play it. It's more of like in my opinion, a jerk off session of those at the top.
Mm.
Yeah, because like I remember when Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, everyone I talked to was like absolutely sure that they're gonna like just uh get a clean sweep of all the awards.
Didn't God of War win that year though?
Uh, it did. I think it won Game of the Year, but Red Dead Redemption 2 still got like a decent amount of awards.
Correct.
But like that was the big thing though, that people thought for sure like Red Dead was just gonna like win via clean sweep.
Hmm. So you're looking more for an underdog per se.
Me?
Yes.
Um, I'm looking for like some limelight, I suppose.
Hmm. Fair enough.
But yeah, like with Death Stranding coming out and everyone falling all over themselves to proclaim it as the most, experience of their
Hmm.
fucking year.
Hmm.
Um, I just uh good for the people who win.
Hmm.
Um, if it means something to them,
Hmm.
that's fine. For me, I don't particularly make games.
Hmm.
Um, I've worked with platforms to make games and haven't found a way to tell the narrative that I want to. So I work more with like Twine.
Hmm.
So just experiences rather than what I would consider a game.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that shit's like purely an outlet for me, not something I'm looking to monetize and have awards. So I don't have that draw, I suppose, to it. I'm not quite sure, other than it just good games get their roses all the time over the internet. Um,
Hmm.
and it's not till years later that I hear about games I should have, or I wished I had known about the year of
Hmm.
release.
Hmm. Fair enough. Yeah, I was curious. I've been seeing a lot of that, like especially around the time of the Game Awards, where a lot of people were complaining about like not really wanting to watch it the very next year or something. Not really kind of going off the awards and people who really deserve it. It's all a spectacle. It's all a con now, et cetera, et cetera. And I just wanted to like see what maybe a different. Let me take that back. A control perspective, not that cancel perspective.
Yeah, I'm not one to buy into that kind of self-congratulatory almost stuff. Um, for the most part.
Interesting. Well, that's definitely a different perspective I can look into now. Um,
Yeah, I don't know if it's a good one to have per se, but it's how I feel.
no, can only be you, right?
Plus, like a little change in point of view doesn't necessarily hurt.
Mm-hmm. Don't tell culture that.
They can eat my ass.
I probably would love that. Anyway, another question I would ask you two. Oh wait, did you answer the question, Mrmoopsy? I can't remember.
I mean, I can't even remember what the question was, so let's just move on.
All right. So my next question is maybe not this year per se, but maybe next year. Do you think that next year possibly would be E3's last E3, and it may turn into something else completely?
I mean, there's a definite possibility because the biggest issue that E3's faced is that they've never really bothered to they never bothered to update this the way they do their presentations and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been kind of like same old for the last couple of years, and they really haven't been showing any signs of changing after losing some of their biggest players. Because I think like this is the second year that Sony's not been at E3,
Yes, correct.
and they've done absolutely nothing to remedy the situation. They just fucking like keep doing everything business as usual. So it's kind of like they're just content with watching their ship sink. Um, so I think that because if they end up going into this kind of like lazy pattern of just fucking letting things go and not really bothering to change anything, that ultimately their disinterest for fixing E3 is going to lead to people's disinterest of even watching E3.
Hmm.
And ultimately, and I do think that in the near future, and who knows, there might even be somewhere like at one point, it might be too much of a change or like too late for them to make a change to the point where like it'll be like, okay, yeah, you know, this E3, we're gonna change up some stuff around, and then next year they're gonna be saying, yeah, people didn't like the thing that we did last minute, so we're just fucking not doing E3 this year.
Fair enough.
It's like it's too much of a last minute change and kind of a scramble.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Noobomi? I'm gonna get that name one day.
No, it's okay.
Half of it's like from Noob Cybot.
Yeah,
I'm
there
good.
you go. Oof. I'm not quite sure what the future of this event is going to be. I really, I want to say that I'd still want to experience it, but it looks like hell. Looks like hell for a general spectator.
Mm-hmm.
So the desire to actually attend has definitely gone out the window. I think Gamescom is more something interesting to look at to see what comes out of it. Not to say that I religiously follow that event either. I think E3, not the same way Evo needs to evaluate, but something needs to change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, going off of you saying Gamescom, I would also say even the one Japan Tokyo Game Show is even more exciting now. And that used to be
Yes.
a recap thing for E3 mostly.
Yeah.
And you see all of these other events having their focus shifted out to them away from E3. You really have to look at what you're doing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, just what could you do to improve the retention of these presenters?
Yeah, makes sense. Although,
I think like
go ahead.
I was just gonna say that like I think that a simple way that one of the things that might actually give them some ideas in regards to how to fix it would be like because it's almost like these guys don't even watch their own shows. So if they were like if they actually bothered to like sit down and watch it and with the mentality of like, is this what I would want to watch? If they're telling themselves yes, then these are the most boring people on earth.
Mm-hmm. Well, going off of that, it could be starting to just be like what I like to call an investor show. Like it's not really like more for us. It's more for like people to grow in stocks and stuff. For their things like you should be investing in this and you should be investing in that. And look at this brand new shiny thing. Invest in it. It might be going down that route more, but by doing so, it's not paying attention to what got it there in the first place.
Yeah.
There was something I was gonna say. I can't remember what it was. I guess it doesn't matter. Uh, but overall, I would say, going off of that question, that next year might be like the real like last one, because I mean, even you would think that Sony would come back and be like, here's our PS5, and it's like, nope, we're doing our own thing. So probably a lot of other people are going to take that into account, like EA. I don't know about Bethesda.
I'm just laughing because, like, I'm just laughing. 'Cause, imagine fucking EA thinking, like, oh man, we're gonna get so many views off of this. Nobody fucking shows up.
Well, and here's the thing. I'm with you on there to a certain extent until something recently just happened. And that is the new Star Wars game doing very well. And
My question would be though is like, sorry to interrupt, but is like, because my question would be though is like, how many do you think people would consider that just like a random fluke?
it's interesting you say that because you brought up something else. Now, once you look into it per se, you can see that also kind of you can put into that fluke category. But you also have something like Apex to think of as well. But like for the casual audience, they're not looking at that. They're looking into, oh look, they have two big things that are happening. Also, Battlefront 2 is doing very well now. So they're kind of building a repertoire of things to where it might not be so clear cut as you may think it is.
Right.
Now that being said, I'm still with you on that. I don't know about them views, but actually going off of that, something recently just happened that also might help in that as well, because Disney just recently said that, hey, we want people to use our IPs for stuff in gaming, so maybe EA can even get more stuff off of them.
Please don't let them make a Marvel fighting game.
That's a scary thought.
That's a very scary thought.
It is.
That sort of power.
But because the problem is that it is a scary thought, and I hate that I came up with it. But given the fact that EA was also allowed to hold to the, they were allowed to hold the fucking
Star Wars license?
Star. I kept wanting to say Marvel. I was like, that's not right. But they were allowed to hold the Star Wars license for as long as they have, even with all the fuck ups.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Disney would just be like, okay, we'll give you this at like at a discounted price or some bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Good enough. Here you go.
Yeah, seriously.
I don't like the thought of that.
Thanks for giving me nightmares tonight.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
But, now that I think about it, that could happen. It could really boost the numbers, like we were saying. Not a fan.
Because the problem is that they would be making like shit for investors. Because I mean, I know people weren't like not a lot of people were a fan of like Marvel Infinite, but I'd be willing to fucking be like, okay, so that was just one bad game. We'll see what they come up with for like the next one. It's when it becomes a series that I become concerned.
Are you talking about Capcom?
Yeah, because what I mean is more like it's when it becomes a series of mistakes that I become concerned.
See, it's weird you talk about that because, and this is a weird rabbit hole that I'm about to tell you, because when you talk about like MVC3 in that aspect as well, it's like, well, MVC3 did great, right? It actually soared fairly poorly compared to MVCI, which sold more than it. So,
which, I mean, that is a very weird rabbit hole. Because the one that got the most complaints also sold the most.
Yeah, that's what it's like. You could almost put that as two mistakes in one.
I mean, I don't know, like, because I wouldn't want to. Obviously, I wouldn't want to throw Marvel 3 as one of the mistakes, but I feel like Noobomi would have to fucking be the tiebreaker.
So I am really not hip to any Marvel games.
So she's my side. Yeah. High five.
High five yourself.
Tag games in general are not my jam. Even like I fucked with Tekken Tag, both 1 and 2, but not really 2.
Nightmares.
2 games a nightmare. I had to pull away and reevaluate, and oof, my god. Yeah, I really have no real estate in that
She defaults to me.
realm.
Keep beating Mrmoopsy.
Unfortunately, I feel though. I think is it Infinite is ugly as fuck. Are they both
Correct.
ugly?
No, MVC3 has more of a comic booky kind of feel look that makes it look pretty good. It's even to compare it to today's standards, it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, MVCI was just a super ugly duckling.
Because they did the mistake of trying to go for like 3D kind of realistic characters, which was a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
But because the example, I think the current example would be something for Marvel 3 would be something akin to like Dragon Ball Fighters. It's cel shaded and it's kind of got an aesthetic that makes it timeless.
Mm-hmm. Like even like 5 years from now, probably it's still gonna be like that. Looks like a very good game.
Okay, I'm looking at it now to try and.
Try. I was actually gonna post some for you in the thing, but you beat me to it.
Okay, thank you.
You're too slow.
Damn you and your Sonic movie.
Okay, and now I'm gonna look at Infinite.
Don't ruin those eyes.
The worst part is gonna be that she's gonna see the meme picture.
Oh yeah. But you know the sad thing about Infinite is when you look at some of the DLC characters, they actually don't look that bad. Like Black Panther and Venom, they actually look fairly good.
Like I mean, I still defend Infinite for what for the update they did to Thanos, because fuck Marvel 2's Thanos. I don't care if I get hate from the internet every single day for the rest of my life. Fuck Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Thanos.
Yeah, it's definitely a look.
Say it exists.
It's there. It happened.
It has physical properties.
It's made out of atoms.
It was made.
I don't want to look at it anymore.
Please don't. I'm sorry you were even tortured that way.
So,
In my defense, I didn't make her see shit.
in that sense, but again, I am not a tag fighter. I tried DBFZ, liked it for a little bit, but yeah, assists and all that, not my jam.
I mean, everyone has their own personal preference. I didn't get into Tekken until really recently.
Mm-hmm. Which is fair. All fair things.
Yep.
But, I guess we can move on to the next one then, right?
Yeah.
Alright. Platinum making moves. So mark off of this one. Platinum just recently did a GoFundMe for the Wonderful 101 to be ported. And
Hey, there was a GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, it got gangbusters. Like, it way overexceeded the amount needed to get it done.
Yeah, I imagine it was like a Shenmue 3 kind of situation.
Yeah, I would say even more than that. Like, it blew that one out of the water. But it also brings up the question of what other things they could possibly do to this to get that kind of attention. Because clearly, they have the fans for that kind of stuff. So, my question to you guys, do you think they would try to make a move for Scalebound?
I think they could, because I believe that there's enough people that have been blue-balled by the Microsoft announcement that they'd be willing to drop some coin to their Witchers.
God damn you.
But no, they'd be willing to drop some fucking cash to try and get that fucking shit revived. Only question is, I guess, that I would ask is, does Microsoft still have the do they still have the rights to the IP, or does Platinum have it back since it went nowhere?
If I remember correctly, do not quote me on this, I'm pretty sure Platinum has it back.
Quick, to quote him.
Don't you dare. I will go into my closet somewhere. Don't you put that in here. I see you typing.
You can't stop me.
Don't make you plan you out of this Discord. Damn you. But I do believe, I think they have it back. So if they wanted to, they could. That being said, they still need a lot of money for that. And probably more than Wonderful 101.
A lot more.
But I do wonder if they... Because another thing about Platinum that needs to be said is a lot of the older staff is not there. It's a lot of newer people now. So I do wonder if they would have the, quote, I don't know, drive to really go through that kind of thing.
I think, because from the side, because one thing I would have to ask is, or rather, one of the determining factors I think would be like how well that the group that made that fucking Nintendo Future Cop game.
Oh, Astral Chain?
Astral Chain?
Yeah, that's the one. It would really depend on like how well that game was received, because that was a lot of the new stuff, wasn't it?
People love that game. It
Yes.
got an award.
It went over
I
very
think.
well.
At the Game Awards, I think.
Yeah, so I mean that's definitely something that would be like a step in the right direction, or like a decent motivating factor.
Mm-hmm. No. Yeah, I can see that. I do hope they do it, but it also makes me wonder what other IPs they might be trying to bring back as well. Because I don't know if y'all are familiar with the game Vanquish.
Yes.
Yep.
But that could be another one they could be trying to bring back by a GoFundMe as stunt as well. The game had a definite cult following for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
And I honestly think if they did, it might go over the same way as Wonderful 101 did. But it also makes you wonder about their other projects that we still have yet to even see anything on, which is like Bayonetta 3.
Oh my god.
There was something else that was on my mind. I can't think of what it was. But yeah, we haven't yet to see anything on that, and we're doing stuff like this now as well.
I think like the other game that we were making was like another sequel, wasn't it?
I think so. I can't remember for the life of me what it was though. It'll come to me eventually, probably after the podcast. I'll put in a note.
Just wakes me up after the middle of the night.
Bayonetta 3, that's the one time I tuned in to the Game Awards.
Did he didn't even show you much?
Over. and when it was over, I felt left high and dry. And that's all we've had to go on for
years
too
now.
long now.
Mm-hmm.
We got to see her getting fucked up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, give me more. I need.
I thought
I
for
need
sure we
more.
would get it this last year, Game Awards. It's been like years.
Yeah, it's been 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not 3 full years, but
Close
technically 2017 to 2020.
enough.
This next one's not a Nintendo exclusive, right?
Yes,
Oh, it is?
it is.
From my understanding, yes, it was.
Ah,
It
okay.
is.
You should be fine.
I need it. I hate this hell that we're in right now. I hate it here.
This is the worst timeline.
I hate this timeline. Fuck you, Trunks.
You see what you did?
But, it does make me wonder though where those projects are when we're going with this kind of strategy for things, because we legit have not heard anything from Bayonetta 3. What was that other game? It's gonna bug me.
Oh, wasn't it something related to like Mad World?
I think it was. The 2 second, it kind of almost clicked in my head, and I can't think what else it was. But I'm pretty sure.
Madward.
Yeah, that's not helping.
I was thinking if I say it enough times, maybe you'll remember.
It'll be summoning, what's his name, Jack, come kill us all. That's what you're gonna be doing.
I'm a big fan.
But I'm fairly sure it's probably something related to that. But it does make me wonder where Bayo 3 is as far as development goes, because are they gonna have to do the same thing for Wonderful 101 possibly in the future?
I see people talking about Lost Order.
Lost Order. Hold on. Let me look that up. Because that sounds extremely
Asking
familiar.
if it's totally dead.
Lost Order. I think that was it. For the sake of time, yes, that was it.
Yeah, sure. Put in like something on post or something.
Post. I was completely wrong. Don't you roast me.
No,
Also
I don't know.
Mrmoopsy.
That's the only one that I see like discussion about disappointment.
If it's the time frame too, yeah. I'm thinking it's that. Yeah, maybe they'll be doing GoFundMe's for all these games.
I mean, they can't survive off of GoFundMe forever, though.
Hell no. Then again, I think there was talks way back of them possibly getting bought by some Chinese company. I think not bought, but partnering with Tencent.
Yeah, and then people were like fucking starting to sweat.
So maybe that's going to be the next move. Because a lot of people did leave when that kind of happened. And now we have a whole new Platinum.
Yeah, I mean, like, it makes sense that why people would be nervous after they announced that they're working with Tencent, because fucking, given all the recent controversies, people would be like, fuck those guys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I don't really have much when it comes to Tencent, because I don't play those kind of games.
They own... What?
Blizzard
Riot?
by the balls, for one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think they do own Riot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm a filthy League player, unfortunately. Keep that a secret.
Don't worry, I'll bleep that out completely.
Yeah, wink, wink, I'm sure you will.
Nobody listens anyway.
Nudge, nudge.
Yeah, they have a stake in a lot of shit.
They do, which causes some mild discussions in a negative sense towards them, considering some of the changes that they've had to they've had others make. But I mean, some people are desperate for that fucking money.
Mm-hmm. Gotta make the bill somehow.
Yeah.
But I think that's all I had for Platinum stuff. Anybody else?
No, aside from where's Bayonetta 3, please send Bayonetta 3 news. Bayonetta, I miss you. Bayonetta, if you're listening, call me back.
Say less.
She already took the kids. What else do you want? No, but I guess we can move on to any side stuff we want to talk about. Anything y'all want to bring?
Not off the top of my head.
Well, I will say though, my next tournament is now looking even more up as final round. Everything's good and paid for, so I'm looking forward to that now. I'm looking forward to getting yelled at by Pokechop a lot.
I thought you were gonna say like getting yelled at by a security guard.
I hope not. Jeez.
I wouldn't wish that energy on you.
unless the security guard's just gonna walk up like, "Hey, well, learn how to do a fucking infinite."
So just pretend you don't speak English, Jess.
No, say
no. I'll teach you the right way to say it later.
Let's just walk away in the bush. But other than that, I do have another tournament I want to go to, which I'm wondering, is anybody going to any tournaments this year?
Yeah. I may attend April Annihilation, depending on when I'm in Japan.
Ooh, fancy.
I also strive to hit that first Tekken World Tour event if I'm in Japan when it's happening. It's looking like I can be, so long as I fix my schedule to cater to that.
Remember to ask Harada for shit.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to ask for it in Japanese though, so maybe
Hey, that might
I'll
work.
listen. Yeah.
Gotta go with you. Blah 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 blah. No.
No, it's got to be short and sweet. Just like one thing.
No.
One
It's
thing. Just say that and nod at him, and then
I was gonna say it's like asking for something from a really impatient Santa.
Other than those, I am definitely hitting Combo Breaker in May,
Okay, so I have a question for you.
and then Summer Jam. But go on.
But is Combo Breaker like the Coachella of FGC now?
I don't think so. I would say CEO is probably more of that. I
Really?
think Combo Breaker is like where people go when they actually really want to play games, and lots of games,
Interesting.
and a wide variety of games.
Very interesting.
I don't think that the hype around it is undeserved. Whereas Coachella is just like, nah.
No, thank you.
Fuck Coachella. I live close to that. I don't like it.
So I'd say there's more of a spectacle element to CEO and the way they do their little entrances and the wrestling stuff.
Yeah, and they also have, I think on Saturdays they have the NJPW. Is that it?
New Japan World, whatever.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
They do that on Saturdays, so yeah, that's another thing in itself. Yeah, I can see that. I see it a lot on Twitter. It's just like, yeah, Combo Breaker's a new Coachella. It's just like, do you even know what Coachella is?
Yeah. So weird. I would say even more so Evo being the new Coachella, like over Combo Breaker, but mostly that, and that Evo has its extra day, like Championship Sunday or whatever, separate cost, correct?
Do they?
I'm pretty sure the entry to Championship Sunday is a separate fee.
I can't remember. I think you're right, but I can't remember for the life of me.
Wait, like you mean like going to see the grand finals for the other tournaments? Because I remember that they do charge Sunday as a separate ticket.
Yep, that's what it is. I was like, I feel like they did. That's what it is. They charge Sunday as a separate ticket.
Yeah.
Something it cut out.
What's that?
Oh, because we were saying that Friday and Saturday is one ticket, and then Sunday's a totally different ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's very Coachella. the 2 days season VIP wristband to Evo. Hang out in the VIP lounge. Get your $11 water.
Oh God, fuck that water.
Yo, orange juice is $18. Let's go.
That fucking water was like tiny as shit.
That's why I got that giant water bottle thing that you kept seeing me with.
That's fucking why I got Gatorade instead.
No, look. Thankfully, they did have a water station in there, although the line was like ridiculous.
I'm sure.
Was it anything like the line to the bathroom?
About the same. Almost.
Yeah, that's another nightmare. Though I'm a woman, so maybe it won't be as bad.
Oh, you poor thing.
No, because even in events where women outweigh the men, or women don't outweigh the men, the lines for the women's bathroom are still.
Yeah, imagine that and add like 10 to, and that's Evo.
Yeah, no, I don't have any desire to go there, but I would like to travel more the outside of my northeast coast.
Hmm.
But yeah, most of the events I'm going to will be biggie events.
I will say though, like I know you say you don't have desire. I would say try it once and just have the experience, and then that's it.
Yeah, I'm not sure which year I'll choose to do that,
Hmm.
but it'll happen at some point.
Hmm.
Just like I'm sure I will attend CEO at some point just to know what it's like.
You should do that this year, and
And
then
maybe
have
found
fun.
final round.
uh,
So I want to check out Atlanta.
yeah, I'm doing the one for final round because it's kind of like one of the ones that's close to me, so I can just drive there.
Yeah, nice.
Unlike fucking Evo, everything's so damn expensive, and then I had to pay twice. PTSD.
See, this is why I brought somebody with me so that they could cover my costs.
See, I wouldn't have had to worry about that if I didn't have to pay twice.
I mean, that's why because part of the problem is that you chose to stay in the Mandalay. I chose to go to the Excalibur.
Well, I wanted the full experience. Sue me.
The full experience, including getting screwed over.
A plus.
Welcome to Evo
Fucking
again.
Vegas. But oh yeah, and you wouldn't know, but basically what I said when we went to Evo last year was I liked it. Probably wouldn't be going again anytime soon.
Hmm.
But no, other than that, I think the only tournaments I really want to go to this year are final round and CEO, and that's mainly to meet people, not really for like the quote experience, and also the fact that it's not in Daytona, it's in Orlando.
Yeah, that is making it very tempting. And with my schedule at work right now, I essentially only have to take off an 11-hour shift on Saturdays in order to attend events like that.
Nice.
Um, but with going to Japan, I'm eating up a lot of my time off with
Oof.
that.
I mean, yeah, but it's Japan.
Yeah,
The
but
flight alone is eating time.
yeah, which really fucking sucks. But it's worth it to visit again.
Oh, I got some stories about that. But I won't say them on stream because they might be a bit too much. But
Monetized.
like I am already.
That's true. I'm here.
But I think that's really it as far as side stories on my end. Cause yeah, that's my big thing is final round coming up. Oh yeah, I guess I have the Samurai Showdown thing coming up too, but that's on YouTube stuff. So unless there's anything y'all want to add, I think we're good.
I think we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Sweet. So once again, for the audience, Miss Noob, would you like to plug anything else other than your things that you've already plugged?
I will just reiterate them. So, twitch.tv/Noobomi, very irregular, sporadic streaming Tekken, and probably some emulated games on the side.
Wins not hacked.
Honestly, I was playing it up until I joined this call.
I knew it.
I was grinding the fuck out of it all day today. Twitter @Noobomi. If you are local to the Philly area, check out Iron Fist Philly. If you love Tekken and want to support some dope ass individuals. And support Big E Gaming too. Try to hit up their events if you can. So check out the links in the description.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, follow me on Twitter for some fucking shenanigans.
Lots of
That's all.
shenanigans.
They are pretty shenanigans. Yes, I can confirm. I agreed.
All right, Mrmoopsy, you?
I'm gonna try to like start slow, given what some of the big changes that I'm gonna be making and some of the changes that I'm covering from this past New Year's.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna try to get like a stream schedule going. I'm just gonna go like once a week, probably on. I think I'm probably gonna make it like Wednesdays. I'm gonna switch from Tuesdays to Wednesdays because I just want to like have like a moment where I can sort of like make sure that I can lock some shit down.
Mm.
Well, no, actually, no. Thinking about it, you know what? I think I'm gonna make it Saturdays.
That's a change. All right.
It's a big change because of the workout schedule that I'm trying to incorporate as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's basically like three big things that I'm trying to change in my life. Apply for that like midnight job. I'm gonna be trying to work out more, and I'm gonna be trying to like stream. I do have some other videos that I'm trying to cook up too, but I don't have the proper tracks for them yet.
Mm.
So that's taking me like a minute. But it's like after the whole New Year's shit, which I'm thinking maybe next show I'm gonna go more in depth into. But basically it's I'm gonna be making those. I'm gonna be looking to try to make those three big changes, and so I'm gonna make Saturday my streaming day because that's gonna be like when I'm most open.
Mm.
So I'm gonna be trying to make it Saturdays. I'm thinking around 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Fair enough.
And then from that, I'm gonna start slow, and then I'm gonna see if I can get some stuff going. Because for one thing, it'll definitely be after what's it called after the Street Fighter patch comes out to see what the new netcode's like. But also, it like I'll have like more open days on Saturdays, so I think I can make it work.
Alrighty. And as for me, you can find me at all things Cosmo Jazz, Twitch, Twitter, etc., and all things like that. Even though Valentine's Day is over, you can always still have a Valentine's because it's Valentine's Day weekend and such and so forth. Love month. I will be your Valentine's if need be. But until then, have a happy February, have a happy Black History Month, and I hope that everybody is going to have a great time doing anything that you are doing, including your goals and dreams, and we will catch you next time.